A lot of people come to Gibraltar as part of the Gibraltar shopping experience. Cruise liners call in Gibraltar because they say that there's good shopping in Gibraltar, and then that contributes to bars and restaurants, contributes to catering establishments, to taxis. A whole load of other industries benefit from having a good main street.
And yet, speaking to some of those business owners and looking at the Panorama Survey, it would seem that a lot of those tourists aren't actually spending a lot of their money here.
That's right. I think we've seen a shift in the last couple of years, especially in the tourist industry. Years ago, the cruise liner industry was related to the affluent tourist. They had disposable income, and I think the cruise liner industry now is more the EasyJet type of tourist, where they go on a low-cost holiday. Everything is paid for and they have very little disposable cash.
You talk about measures that could be introduced to help retail owners, and we've already seen import duties removed on a whole variety of items. But are those benefits actually being passed on to the consumer? And what other measures would you like to see introduced?
I think those benefits are being passed on to the consumer, but what we have seen is that a lot of people are doing personal imports, both internet sales and from across the border, and they're coming, importing those goods and not declaring those goods, or not being made to pay duty. So there is a discrimination in that the business that imports the goods has to pay the import duty, albeit it might be at a low rate, and the personal consumer is not paying those import duty rates. So there is that discrimination. And what other measures can be taken? Well, rates are extremely high. In Main Street, rents are very high, and the rates are linked to the rents. So we would like to see government, and it's something that we have told them in the past, to discount the rates for retail, for the retail sector, not just early payment discount. Just give a lower rate of poundage for rates. We would also like government to promote the Gibraltar shopping experience more outside Gibraltar, and we've written some papers and made some representations to government.
We've talked about tourists getting off the boats and wandering around Gibraltar, but not particularly spending a huge amount of money. But what about those that don't get off the boats at all? How big an issue is that?
Two things that come to mind on that is, one is the duty-free shop that was opened in the cruise liner terminal, that has been extremely damaging for not only Main Street business, but also bars and restaurants that rely on people coming into town. So definitely that has been a very bad idea and extremely damaging to Main Street. And the other thing that we need to do is offer other tours that will encourage people to get off the ship and come into town. And of course they would then be in casements in town, and you know that they would be encouraged possibly to head into town and do some shopping and you know, have a coffee or a bite to eat.